Well, about a week ago, I decided to make a video to demonstrate some of the casting techniques that I talked about on spoonplugger.net. It was just going to be a short video, and before you knew it, the fish got in the way. So I just wanted to show how I was doing the casting, but I'm also going to include some footage of fish that I have caught. We all like to see fish being caught. So I hope you enjoy it. And remember, I'll say this a couple of times, you can't catch them unless you're out here. I've been posting some fishing reports lately on spoonplugger.net. And in it I've described anchoring and casting on structure situations to get into the fish. So I'm going to kind of go through the procedure today and show you exactly what I've been doing. I have two sight lines and they're on a 90-degree angle. I'm going to follow one until the other one lines up. I'm going to throw a marker and then I'm going to anchor the boat. I could use my depth finder. I could put a waypoint on it, but this is so much more accurate. 90-degree sight lines. The two line up perfectly. I throw my marker. I drop my anchor. That's all there is to it. Two sight lines, 90-degree angle, throw the marker. The marker serves as a target and as a reference in case I should drift. Let's fish it. I'm going to start off casting a 3/8 ounce blade bait. If that's not productive, I'm going to try a different speed on the fall using a 1/4 ounce blade bait. If that is unproductive, I'm going to use a jig worm combo. And as a matter of fact, to keep the worm alive right now, I'm just going to hang it over to the side until I'm ready to use it. And then I might pick up some incidental fish from right underneath the boat. We shall see. Let it drop to the bottom. Reel in a little slack. We're set to go. I've been using a spoon plug on the troll as I leave the dock, but I'm not going to use it in this situation because I'm anchored in over 10 feet of water, and I'm throwing to a structure that crowns at just about 12 feet. So I'm going to forego the use of a spoon plug right now. See if I can get them on the blade or the jig. I start with a 3/8 ounce blade here. It's got a faster fall. When I'm casting, I try to make it a point to always count down my lure. And by that I mean when I throw it out, I'm going to count how long it takes for the lure to hit the bottom and I see slack in my line. I use colored line. It's much easier to see. I can see when my lure hits the bottom, and I can see if the fish hits the lure, either before it hits the bottom or on the way down to the bottom. So sometimes, say in this case, count of 4. Say I throw it out there and it stops moving at 2. Well, either I have a fish or there's a change in depth at that point. So again, throw it out, Count it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Count of 8. Now that means that that area is deeper. Jump it. Back down to the bottom. Jump it. Down to the bottom. Jump it. Down to the bottom. Jump it. Down to the bottom. Quarter-ounce blade bait. Different size and weights of lures are going to fall at different rates. This blade bait is only a quarter ounce, so it's going to take longer to hit the bottom. You want to be aware of that. It's the same thing with the jigs, okay? Count it down. Each time I change a lure, I'm going to count it down, see how long it takes to get down there. And again, I'm going to watch my line after it hits the bottom. I'm going to watch my line at all times, as a matter of fact, because sometimes you get the hit before it reaches the bottom. 6. I make the cast, and I allow the lure to sink. When there's slack in the line, I jump it. Slack, jump it. Slack, jump it. Slack, jump it. All the way back to the boat. Nothing on the quarter ounce. Time to switch. Now I'm going to go to the slowest fall, and to make it more attractive, as they say, I'm going to add a worm. All right, I just got them kind of plastered on there. Lately, the jig worm combo has been very productive. Again, cast it out, let it fall to the bottom, reel in a little bit of slack, and just jump it. The speed of the jump can be at your own discretion, fast, slow, you know, just check out the different speeds. Jump it high, jump it low. Right now they seem to like a high jump. Maybe it gives them an opportunity to see it better on the fall or locate it. Another option is to just drag it along the bottom. But if you've got a lot of breaks, you may end up with your lure hung a lot. Now already something has been munching on that. Probably a sculpin, some kind of a small fish. So don't like to see that. Just because I don't like to rebait. And they got my worm. So we got some active small fish here that I don't particularly plan to pursue. But the small fish are a good indication that this is why the bigger fish visit this particular structure. There's a meal at the end of the road. Well, I've got a couple of choices here. I haven't contacted any fish. I've tried the different speeds. I've even tried live bait. I could stay here and wait for the bigger fish to show up. I could reposition the boat, maybe try it from a different angle, cover the structure maybe a little bit differently, but I know the structure well, and this is the area that has been producing. So I'm pretty sure that if the fish were using this structure right now, the big fish anyway, I would have made contact. Or the third option is I could just move to another structure. And that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. So let's pull up anchor, pick up the marker and check out a couple of other spots. Now in this case, I don't have a 90-degree sight line. So I'm going to proceed on my 180 sight line, and I'm going to use my depth finder to help me place the marker. Now, even though I expect to find the active fish on the crown of this structure, sometimes they could be off of it just a little bit. And in fishing with Rick Mattis, what he likes to do is he likes to do the 360. And by 360, he means to cast around the boat. So sometimes you're on the contact point, on the structure, sometimes you're just a little bit off, and sometimes you're in the deep water where we know these fish have a home. So I'm going to do that, cast around. And again, you don't have to do a lot of casts. You don't have to do 50 casts to check it all out. You know, a half a dozen casts should do the trick. Let's go to a lighter blade. All right, let's go to my slowest speed. So my slow speed is just jig and a crawler. That's it. I'm going to fish it the same way. Let it sink to the bottom, jump it, let it go back to the bottom, and jump it all the way back to the boat. So nothing on the jig worm combo. Now that's my basic approach to casting. The lures, that's your choice. If I could anchor shallower, I would of course use spoon plugs. I like blade baits. I like to be able to jump them. I like the fact that they vibrate when I bring them in. I'm not a real big live bait person, but sometimes, especially when you're fishing for walleyes, maybe that's the way to go. Now, I didn't catch any fish today. I actually wasn't fishing at any of my particular spots because I didn't want to get the catching of the fish in the way of demonstrating what I'm trying to do. It's important when you're anchoring that you know what you're fishing. Okay, what is it that you're fishing? What is the structure? What portion of that structure are you fishing? Why are you fishing it? What are the depths that are involved? Can I fish it using spoon plugs? Or does everything have to be done with jump baits? The important thing is, in my particular case, I know the structures that I've fished and caught the walleyes and the crappies and the stripers and the muskies on. I know those structures. I have mapped them. I know what they look like. I have a mental picture. I have also put it down on paper. If you haven't done that, your chances of running into the fish are going to be pretty iffy. When I'm out here fishing, I want to be on a structure situation that I know 100% of the time. If I'm on a new lake, there's a different approach. I'm checking it out. I'm looking for structures. I'm hoping that I could find things that go from the shallows to the deep, go all the way, and contain breaks. And so my expectations are a little bit less on a new lake. But on a lake that I've fished and I know the structures, I want to be able to go to those structures, go to the contact areas, and fish with confidence. So anytime I'm out here, boy, I want to fish with confidence. I want to be on the spot. I want to expect to get a fish on every single cast. Does it happen? No. But that's what I expect. That's what I expect. And that's what you should expect when you have mapped a structure, put it down on paper, and fished it correctly. Well, I hope I was able to show you a few things today on how I anchored, how I use markers, and the lures I use on the cast. And while I didn't catch any walleyes today, I did catch some nice crappies and a few drum. But basically, that's how I do it. Again, it starts with mapping a structure, and then once you map it, you fish it. And once you have a good idea of what that structure looks like and how the fish are using it, then you go right to the anchor and you cast for them. Quite an easy way to check and see if the fish are there. But this is how I do it, and I hope it helps in your fishing. But always remember, you can't catch them if you're not out here. So come on out and get them. Thanks for watching. And thank you, Buck Perry. Not what I want. It's a crappie. Yeah, it's a nice crappie. That's the kind of crappie I've been catching lately. Nice one there. Oh, we got one. Got him that time. Oh, yeah. It's got to be a drum or something. Yep, big drum. They give you a nice fight, though. Yep. Live bait. This is a better one. Yeah. Not a big one, but a nice little walleye. Better fish. Oh, it's a nice crappie. Oh, look at the size of that crappie. Holy cow. Holy cow. Whoa. How is that for a crappie? Oh boy. That's a 15-inch crappie. 15 inches. Beautiful fish. Oh, he stung that one. That's got to be a drum. Oh, it's a walleye. It is a walleye. another walleye, and that's on a small blade. Hit the small blade there. It's got to be a crappie. A crappie. Yeah. Jig and a worm. That's a walleye. Got him. That's a nice walleye. Nice walleye. Another nice walleye. 8 minutes apart. 8 minutes apart. Well, we got a little bit of everything today. And again, it was all on the cast. Jig and a worm, 1/4 ounce blade bait, and 3/8 ounce blade bait. Again, colored line helps. Throw it out there, let the line sink. Keep your eye on the line for any movement. Count it down. Count it down. John Bales counts it down. Walter Kulikowski counts it down. Phil Safransky counts it down. Rick Mattis counts it down. Okay, count down that lure. Watch your line. Look for any movement. I fished 5 spots today. All 5 of those spots produce fish. We caught drum, walleye, crappie, yellow bass, white bass, sculpin. Quite an assortment of fish. Now, I had a short day. I only started at noon and it's 6 o'clock now. So just imagine what you could do if you put in a full 8 to 10 hours like John Bales. So again, I hope you pick something up from here. I hope you learned something about casting. Maybe you do it a little bit differently. Maybe you can make some comments about it. But this is the way I do it. Fishing a contact point on a structure situation. And knowing at all times where the structure is and what I'm casting to. And you can help that out by using markers and using sight lines. So until the next time, remember, you can't catch them unless you're out here. And once again, thanks for watching, and thank you, Buck Perry.